It's the weekend!
Warriors!
Warriors, come on to play!
Yeah, here we go!
Good Saturday morning, everybody. We are broadcasting live from the Weekend Warriors studios in beautiful Peoria, Arizona. I am Ralph Romano. Alongside my partners in crime, we've got the legendary Philip Emery, not Shedeur Sanders. And we don't have the legend Neil Lynch. We don't know where he is, and we're fine with that. Instead, we've got the master fill-in, Luke Wright. But I think I called Luke Bryan one time, right? Didn't I?
I believe so, yes.
I know that upset you.
Technically a compliment.
So.
You know? I mean, I guess depends on where you fall. But.
Right, depends on when you fall. So, hey, be part of the show. Join us on the text line. We have our Weekend Warrior text line, 866-412-6366. Or, of course, any of our social medias. We're on X, YouTube, and Facebook. You can join the chat there. Be part of our amazing, stimulating, outstanding conversation.
Let us stimulate you.
I am still full. I am still fully
your conversation?
satisfied. No, of steak this week. We did have a dinner bet paid off. Thank you, Mr. Ralph Romano. Thank you more so to Shedeur Sanders, as he did, in fact, start a game, continues to start a game, and will remain a starter unless somehow Deshaun Watson... is that his theme music coming from the back of the WWE locker room?
God, it's Deshaun Watson
activated onto the practice squad over there. I don't know what they're going to do with him. But Shedeur Sanders, bless you, sir. You're a blessing. Legendary.
And you can go ahead and pull up a photo we took at Arrowhead Grill, which we love Arrowhead Grill. It's, in my opinion, the best steak in the valley.
It's delicious.
You can see the three of us where Phil's having a great time, I'm having a great time, and Neil looks like he's constipated. So it's a really good picture.
He ate a lot of macaroni and cheese.
All right. Hey, Luke.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hey, I love to be here. This is the first time that we've done a show together in person.
That's right. We've never been able to touch each other. We can actually touch each other.
I know.
It's
off camera.
And you should.
That's part of the stimulation.
It'll be nice having somebody here that could actually talk sports. It'll be
wow.
Be anyway,
that's my gimmick. I can talk sports adequately.
Oh my gosh, that's
I had to go there.
No, it's good.
You know, when the mice are gone. Well, anyway. All right, so let's start real quick. We're gonna just one topic in MLB, and then we're off. We're gonna talk. We've got NBA today. We've got college football today.
We are jam-packed.
Right? And then we've got the NFL as always. So, but we do have there's some good college football stuff. There's some good NBA stuff. But real quick, one topic for the MLB, just one topic. So this week, Dave Roberts came out and they were talking about the salary cap. And he said, this is what he said. He goes, he's all right with the MLB adding a salary cap as long as there's a real salary floor. So the small market bottom feeders have to spend too.
That's not in quotation marks. I just need the journalistic integrity that I do have remaining. Just wants to make sure that Dave Roberts did not say bottom feeders. That would have possibly applied to the Colorado Rockies and
true,
and Sacramento A's
and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
So you know, well, on one hand, he's basically saying, fine, you can limit us, but if you're going to limit us, you better force these guys like the Pirates and the Nats to spend some real money. Right? Because it's not fair to limit us just to get us down to where they want to be because they don't want to spend money. I don't think that's correct. That's not right. You have to spend money in baseball. You should do it for your fans. I mean, we have Diamondback fans. We can talk about it all day long, right? They don't want to spend real money on good players, and they haven't done it in years, really. I mean, they let guys go like Goldschmidt and stuff because they didn't want to put money into them. And look what it's done to their organization. So I feel for fans of teams, especially small market fans, where these owners don't want to spend. The A's would be a great example too, that don't want to spend. Instead, they try to find some theology on how you can do it a different way, which kind of sort of almost worked, but it never did. So I'm curious to get your guys' feel for this. What do you think about? I like a salary floor. I think if we're going to do a cap, you got to do a floor. Let's make it fair and put everybody into a certain bubble to where it's more competitive. What do you think?
It's the only way that the union would relent and allow for a salary cap, because they are so strong. They are notoriously strong to where that they actually will strike, that they are not afraid to throw away a season if need be. And it would really sour the mood that baseball has created here in the past couple of years, to where it has come back in prominence. It has come back into the public's good graces. And so I wonder whether or not it would happen. I think that it is something that is to be entertained. I don't know that it would happen. But it really is either, which one of two things. It's either implement it so that way it's a rule, so that way people can't keep getting away with this, or we just naturally let nature take its course, where soon enough, and it's happening slowly over these couple of years, where it's no longer Rick from Rick's Automobiles down in the local car station owning the sports team. Mm-hmm. It is now big businesses coming down and buying corporations. And if corporations are buying it, will they spend the most? No, but they will put out a product onto the field and maximize and run it like a business should.
Look, why should I'm a Dodger fan. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. Walking in here and you see all this Dodger
I have no
championship
idea.
stuff.
Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, so just wanted to help you. I don't know if you want to touch a World Series championship hat at all, or just let
that
me know.
particular one was kissed by Yamamoto.
Yeah,
himself.
He kissed it. But as a Dodger fan, I my team, why should they be punished? Because our ownership actually cares about putting a winning product on the field.
I will say, gun to my head, if I had to choose one between a salary cap or a salary floor, I'm picking the floor 10 times out of 10.
Oh,
every single time.
I like it.
The small market team should be punished. I think that there should be
punishment.
And honestly, here's the thing. If we are willing to push out the A's owner, the Reds owner, those types of owners for the small market teams who basically they own the team and this is their only asset of value, and that's how they can like continue their living, kind of like the Bidwells in the NFL. They're not very good at anything else. They just own an NFL team, and so they do the bare minimum to make sure that stays profitable for them. If we can push those people out, I'm actually
get them out of here.
Get them out.
I like that.
I'm actually okay with not even putting in a salary cap. I think the issue with Phil's logic is
a lot.
I mean, yes, but I think the problem is those people will never be forced to sell.
Are you proposing like relegation?
I would love relegation. I think that every league should have relegation. But I'm saying if I'm the NBA or if I'm MLB in this case, I'm giving them an ultimatum. And I think we talked about this on the show one of the other times I was here. If you can't make the playoffs X amount of times and X amount of years, you should be forced to sell the team. I don't know if that was on this show that I threw that out there.
It was.
Yes.
It was.
And I think that this is kind of part of it is if you're the owner of the Oakland Athletics, you do not deserve to own a team. You have proven over, however, I think it's been several decades now that this guy has owned the team.
Yeah, because they haven't been relevant since the 80s.
Yeah. You've proven you do not care enough about having a winning team. You care enough about having a team that you can make just a little bit profitable so that you don't have to work. And that's where I would come at it from is I'm totally, and I don't think that a guy like him is ever going to sell the team because that's where they get their profit from.
Well, Bitter Dolphin fans on the chat and Facebook, it says, Ralph, why do these small market teams not spend money? What's their reason? I mean,
because there's no incentive, right? They're given. You look like the business model I know is the NFL, right? They have a salary cap as far as like the upper echelon that they can spend, right?
Right.
Before the season even begins, just due to the TV licensing deals, each NFL team is given enough money that they are able to pay all of their expenses just straight up at the beginning of each and every league year. That is a check that is written out to them each and every year to begin the season. After that, the rest of the money that they make, concessions, ticket sales, sponsorships. If you want to, sponsor your big screen that everybody in the thing can say, if you want to sponsor the cheerleaders right and left butt cheeks, everything that comes in from that money, they get to make, just put it in their pocket for all intents and purposes. So if I'd imagine, I don't know how well this Roku deal is going to do for them, but baseball is similar to where the majority of their money is shared and profit shared before the beginning of a season. So therefore, afterwards, all the rest of the money is profit. And if you're a smaller team, your intake is going to be a lot less than in New York Yankees just by where you are. It is still small potatoes in that degree as far as like a sports league goes. However, one would argue, be better, just get better, pay better, expect more, hold yourself to a higher standard, and therefore that will incur more support, more local support, more sponsorship from and endorsement from the fans and the fan base. I can't answer as to why the Oakland A's, I mean, yes, would everybody like to be the 2013 Seattle Seahawks where half of their team was drafted and they get to win a championship?
Sure,
yes,
of course.
yes, everybody would love to be that team. That's not the reality everybody gets to live in. Eventually, you have to pay for, Jerry Jones, I think, was very smart in his astutment where he said, anytime that I got a deal, I got exactly that, a deal. Like I did not get what I paid for. It's anytime that I've been happy with what I purchased was when I paid close to market value. And for many of these teams and organizations across sports, they're just looking to run on the bare minimum. So that way they're thinking in pennies, not dollars.
I agree. And I think it's interesting, right? So I think two things I'm going to make, 2 points. I think if you did a salary floor and a salary cap, the people that would benefit the most from that is probably not the guys in the bottom, but it's probably the mid-market teams.
Yeah, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Right. Those are the teams that are going to benefit, no doubt about it.
Minnesota Twins.
Right. But without a salary cap, everybody always says, oh, you just buy championships. I don't care how much money you spend. You have to spend it smart, right? Let's look at the Mets. How much money did they spend on Juan Soto, who's the highest paid player in MLB? What did that do for them? Nothing.
Not enough.
Right?
Not enough. Yeah.
Just you can't just throw money at a championship. You have to throw money at the right players that are going to come in your culture and make it work. So that's why I think this whole salary cap conversation is ridiculous. Like, you can go spend a ton of money. It doesn't mean you win a championship. It's just not real. Look at all the money. Look at all the top teams in baseball that spent a ton of money, $300 million last year, and didn't win a World Series. It's a lot of them.
Sure.
Right. So I don't know.
I mean, being able to juggle the two and balance between spending and team building is the essence of sports, at least in management. I mean, Jerry Reinsdorf over there in Chicagoland, whenever he was head of the Bulls, the Chicago MJ-led Bulls, was like, management wins championships, not the players. And Michael Jordan's are like, oh, really? It is a simpatico relationship where one scratches the other. However, from whenever we're talking about a salary cap, of course, we're referring to management and how they build a team.
Right.
Sometimes these things work out. Sometimes you can accrue all the best talent, and sometimes you accrue the best talent of yesteryear, and it comes back to bite you in the clippery ass.
Diamondbacks.
Like, the Diamondbacks have been spending money. They've just been spending money on players that get hurt within 3 to 6 months, or they spend money on players who are past their prime by like 2 to 3 years.
They're buying. They're the ones that are, like Neil said last week, they're reheating the French fries, thinking they're going to taste as good as the first day.
Looking at you, Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah.
I heard this great. You were talking last week about culture, right? You were talking about how some guys are really. You talked about David Roberts being a really good culture guy, and it's interesting. I saw this snippet over the week, and they were talking to Max Muncy about culture, and he brought up an example, and this is a great example of the culture that you have in a championship team, whatever sport you're in. They signed Ohtani, right? Ohtani comes in, he's this master god that comes in, and they're in one of their first games, and he didn't take a really good lead, and the way he did it, they didn't like it, and it cost him scoring in a game. After the game, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Max Muncy, and a couple other veterans grabbed Ohtani and showed him the lead that he needed to take, and told him what he did wrong and not to do it again. They didn't care who he was. They were just bringing him into the culture as we all respect each other, as we're all in this together. We're going to help each other. And that said so much about that organization. And it blew Ohtani away. He's like, wow, no one's ever talked to me like that in the last 10 years. I mean, I love that.
Yes. I think in general, the cream rises to the top, right? So I think that the Dodgers are run well. I think that then goes down to the upper management. I think then that is sifted down into the players, like it is something that I don't think that you can out regulate the Dodgers into being a bad team. I think at bare minimum, you can stymie them to a certain degree, but they will always be the best to the degree allowable, I think. Right. However, it does mean that you are able to raise the quality from the people at the bottom to some degree. I don't know how far. I mean, there will still be a Cleveland Browns that exists in every league. There will still be a
Oakland A's.
An Oakland A's. There will still be teams that are just moribund, awful teams that just never seem to get out of their own way because they simply can't, because ineptitude follows ineptitude follows ineptitude.
It's true.
So, and because of that, you can only do so much before they're just going to have to just wallow in their own misery. And the Dodgers, I think that you can cut the edge off of like just how dominant they are, but you'll never be able to fully mitigate their excellence, their organizational excellence.
Agreed. So all you salary cap people out there, it ain't going to help. Anyway, it's not going to happen. I think we've talked enough about baseball. We've talked so much about baseball lately. Let's move on. I want to talk NBA. I want to talk Chris Paul because I don't get that. I mean, this guy just got taken
in the middle of the night, early morning, 3 a.m. Chris Paul just puts on blast saying, Clippers sent me home. Right before a road trip with the team, just says, all right, guys, I'm out. Deuces.
Talk about ineptitude following ineptitude.
Yes.
It's the Clippers. This is a perfect example of ineptitude following ineptitude. They got a brand new owner who was willing to spend all of the money that he could. Yep. He got them a brand new arena.
Got him a brand new logo.
Everything. He did as much as he could to this poor franchise, this pitiful franchise.
Yeah.
And it lasted all of a couple years. Kawhi can't stay healthy. Harden is washed. For some reason, they thought Bradley Beal was a good idea. They get Chris Paul, which was exactly what they needed. And instead of listening to him, you have a head coach who refuses to talk to him.
Yeah, apparently that's really a bad situation.
Yeah, like the past 3 weeks, they were not on speaking terms.
It's the weirdest thing. And then you just send him home. You can't even trade him for another 9 days. So now he's just going to chill out at home for a week and a half. And even then, you weren't paying him anything.
And didn't he say he was going to retire at the end of the year?
Yes, this is already announced. Farewell tour. Like you knew that.
Could you imagine
that you just couldn't get through 1 year of somebody holding you accountable? He wasn't being evil. He wasn't. Yes, he was just trying to hold people accountable. You know, the thing he did at every other place that jump-started their rebuilds, the Suns, the Thunder, the Clippers the first time. Like, this is what he does. He goes in and he helps you change into a successful culture. And you were like, nah, we're good, fam.
And is that the issue? Because I heard that he came out some weeks ago talking about the Clipper culture. And he was kind of criticizing it a little bit and talking about where he thought it could be better.
Was it the current culture or
the current culture?
The stain?
I think it was
both.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can talk about it, but I think it was the current culture. And it looks like maybe they didn't like that. And maybe that's why they did him dirty. I don't know.
Apparently, he was being very critical in film sessions. He was critical of the culture. He was doing things that are like, hey, we need to be more successful. We need to hold each other accountable.
Maybe the coach sucks. Maybe he's not a good
leader.
leader.
Pedigree is such that he is almost unimpeachable, at least currently. I mean, statuses elevate and lower.
I'm still not sure why though.
Yeah, well, I was going to.
LeBron carried him to a title, and then he got Kawhi and.
But if you remember that
Paul George,
but they were able to go a lot of times and go on long playoff pushes without Kawhi, without Paul George at times, and be able to push teams to the brink of extinction, either themselves or whatever,
and then lose.
Let's get you to the brink. We're done.
He's getting credit for things that he hasn't been successful. So like, why are like? And don't get me wrong, I will raise my own hand and say I thought he was a very good coach. I actually thought that the Suns should have tried to steal him away from the Clippers. But that obviously didn't happen. But I'm just not sure why we would give him the benefit of the doubt in this situation when
I'm with you.
When one person has been crucial to multiple franchises being revived.
He's shown his worth.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And he's here for one more year. You honestly couldn't be held accountable for 1 year.
I'd be using him.
Yeah.
Use his expertise. Use him to work with younger players.
He's a
use
coach,
him for
basically.
Culture. This Clippers are a great example of a franchise that throws money at it and does nothing. right? They've thrown money at Paul George, Kawhi
Usually
Leonard.
that's a good thing.
But I mean, they're
Robert
typical.
Kraft.
You got to
comes
spend
mind.
money in the right places. You can't just put the wrong players together and expect to win,
Sure.
right? And they've been that organization that's really bad at putting that chemistry together.
So a couple things. One, Chris Paul, I'm not the biggest fan of, to be quite honest with you. The fact that he's a junk grabber, junk pusher, whatever, and he trips and he's kind of a dirty player. I'm not a big fan of the guy.
Okay.
But that being said, his record is unimpregnable. Like it is so good to where everywhere he goes, he keeps getting sent to the deserts and desolate places of the NBA and makes it work. Remember that Oklahoma City Thunder team that he was sent to that was supposed to be just Siberia for him?
Yeah.
And then he pushes them into a bubble playoff berth.
Yep.
He's part of the reason why Shea Gilgeous-Alexander credits him for being a better player, because he was able to be under the tutelage of Chris Paul. You look even to last year, the Spurs players to this day say we credit Chris Paul for a lot of our growth. Stephon Castle, Rookie of the Year, says we accredit a lot of our tenacity, a lot of our ability due to his tutelage last year. I mean, they didn't amount to much, but he still played all season. So his record is unimpeachable. So I almost want to put him aside for the moment, because the fact that the Clippers organization is able to not function, be dysfunctional to this level, to do this in such a manner that raises questions, raises questions to such a level that executives have to come out and do another press conference in order to address this specifically for a player that is not just any player, not even just a heritage player, not even a top 50 player within the sport all time, not even possibly the last true point guard of a generation, where I think from now on we'll just have glorified shooting guards, but also, and I think that this is not even debatable, to be honest with you, the best player your team has ever had, like quite possibly the one who has brought you back into relevance, the one that has brought you back from a laughingstock, and you do this to him on his way out on a team that he was taking it. He was sitting not and coach's decision DNP, and you don't even bring him along. You can't even do him the decency of cutting him, because it doesn't make any sense for you to do so. And you bring him along for this joke of a tenure that has been the Kawhi Leonard leadership stewardship. And yeah, it worked last year. This year, for everything that it worked last year, it didn't work this year. You already knew. I forgot about this. Did you remember that James Harden and him played in Houston together, and they had dysfunction and they were rubbing heads over there? You brought him back. You that was such a forecastable situation ahead of you, and yet you just, every step that the Clippers have to avoid just consternation, they seem to just waltz into the storm willy-nilly without any semblance of an umbrella, of a jacket, and just say, "Oh, guys, look at it. It's a little wet out here." And they're in the midst of Dorothy and Toto in the middle of a tornado storm. It's absolutely ludicrous how they're able to function, and then have the indecency while doing so to make the possibly blossoming dynasty that is the Oklahoma City Thunder even better by gifting them what could very well be a lottery pick that is of high note, just to add fuel to the fire that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are already on a historic pace that we are talking about, not just breaking the all-time regular season's record, but breaking it in such a fashion that we're talking about 80 now. Like, this is crazy. Just crazy that the Clippers are this inept.
What's next for Chris Paul?
He'll get traded for nothing to
like
some team that
6
wants
years in the
veteran
future,
presence.
second rounder.
I truly don't even know.
I've
Could
got
it be a
a
Laker?
couple. He could be. I've got a. I don't
see
know
why
that they want to
not.
give up anything right now. The Lakers themselves have limited assets to trade, so they're probably keeping their powder dry for Giannis, for somebody. They don't need him.
It's going to be.
I think more as a
it-
favor.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't
you want
need
some
anything to trade for Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you want
the
some
Clippers
teams?
know they're not getting anything.
Dallas Mavericks would be probably my number one team that I think that he's going to go, because he trained in the offseason with Cooper Flagg. They know each other. It would be good to have
It's a good
him,
move.
have him to be able to go under his tutelage to
Bad for
help
him,
Cooper
but-
be a point guard. And then plus they can then trade D'Angelo Russell, whatever. So Dallas Mavericks would be number one. Maybe go back for a drink of water with the Spurs. I mean, obviously he's been there, whatever. Even the other one, that's fun. Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's what I was thinking.
If he were to go back to the Oklahoma City Thunder, they certainly don't need it. They're finding a hard time right now to get all the young guys that they want to play. But at least he would be able to play in regular season games, because they just never need Shea to play the fourth quarter. So he'd be able to be the backup squad, be able to lead the second unit to an efficient level, and possibly be able to finally win that championship on a team that he did have real impact on in his time there in Oklahoma City Thunder. So those are my three teams that I think that he
Denver. Virtually the same thing. Jamal gets hurt a lot. Having an experienced backup to be able to run that second unit.
Ironically, fulfill that Russell Westbrook role in theory that was last year. Yeah.
Also, I mean, they're not as likely, obviously, but I still think that as long as Jokic is healthy, that team can compete for a title as well.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
So,
I'd say that they're probably the best of the rest that aren't Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes. It's a real messy situation, Ralph. I can't quite put my finger on what it is and diagnose what makes the Clippers, but polio is another thing, so you don't understand it until probably it's well past and out of your system.
Just for fun, polio.
Luke looks, does polio get out of your system?
I'm not really sure it does, but
it doesn't.
I know that's
for fun, because I think it would be amusing. I'd like to see the Lakers sign him just to piss the Clippers off because they share a building, or they don't share a building anymore, but they share a town.
They share a town.
So that he can just be kind of on a thorn in their side a little bit, still in LA. I think that'd be fun.
He wants to be at West Coast. That's another reason why he wanted to sign with the Clippers.
The Lakers don't need him. So, I mean, but it'd be fun just to have them,
Yeah, and really, the Lakers don't need him because he's got a lot of defensive woes that you need covering up. That's why he worked last year with the Spurs.
I wouldn't mind having him giving advice to some of the younger guys, including like Bronny James, including Austin Reeves. I mean, just being around a guy like that.
He is an additive. That's why it's so confounding that the Clippers are saying, not only do we not want you, we don't want you on the team to just be a guy to mentor people. We just stay home. Like it's so absurd.
How about Bronny James for Chris Paul straight up?
I think LeBron vetoes that trade.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Lakers,
a banana boat veto.
I want to type quickly about the Lakers. I'm watching. The Lakers actually are the number 2 team record wise in the league this year.
They are.
Except they lost yesterday because I think they probably fell to 3. But Luka didn't play yesterday. I think he just had a baby.
Yeah, he had a personal reason. Yeah.
Who the middle name for his baby is Austin, by the way, which I thought was interesting. Notable. But is Luka and Austin, if you kind of look at these two and the numbers they're putting up, pretty darn impressive. Are they maybe the best backcourt this year?
They're
in the league.
They're the best backcourt through the first 25% of the season.
Is that crazy?
Well, I mean, it is crazy because the Oklahoma City Thunder exist.
Well, because you have SGA and you have Williams, right? I mean, I get that.
That's it.
And then you got Tatum and Brown over there.
Well, okay. So are we also taking into account injuries? Because I would say even Boston Celtics do have a better. You have to attribute championship pedigree. Austin Reeves nor Luka have a championship. Like that matters to me still a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Those are coming. But I mean, okay, so let's just take into the fact that they are coming.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That almost slid right past me.
I mean, any team that can make DeAndre Ayton look good, there's something going on there. But this year, let's look at it just as this year through the first 25 or so games. Are they the best backcourt? You're saying they are. I think they are.
I mean, as of right now,
that's absurd.
No, it's not.
With the way Austin Reeves is playing, he is
playing totally up to the level that is possible. Yeah,
he's playing above the level of Williams in OKC.
They don't need to play. That's how good that they are playing so well that they get rested in the fourth quarter.
It doesn't. I mean, that it still factors into it. One of them's playing meaningful minutes.
Yeah.
It's not. We're not looking at best team. We're not looking at best individual player. Right now,
can Barry Bonds steal bases? It doesn't matter if he's hitting a homer.
That's not an equivalent comparison,
because he's smashing the thing out of the wall. They are smashing the lead so much that they're
that's
doing
not because
so well.
That's because of the team as a whole. Williams is not playing as well. Is not playing as explosively as Reeves.
He's not.
That is a fact. Philip, that is a fact
because he doesn't
but it doesn't it doesn't matter. Like in the first quarter of the season, that team, the OKC team as a whole, is so complete for better or worse, Williams is never going to be held to that standard.
And you're putting such an onus and such an importance on just the offensive side of the ball. Williams will give you an honest to goodness defense that Austin Reeves, God bless, and you want to talk about defense, Luka Doncic, neither of them are giving you a defense. That's what the rest of the team is for. I mean, that's why DeAndre Ayton's looking good, is because they're able to manufacture offense for him, but because that's where he needs help. But it's because of the defense that the rest of the team is setting that they're able to have the impact that they are on offense.
LeBron James is a non-factor on this Lakers squad. He really is. He hasn't been. First of all, he missed the first 18 games.
He's only played 6 games,
right?
So
and he's
far.
been a non-factor. He's basically right now in the preseason. They're not really relying on LeBron James. And how many games have the Lakers played without Luka this year? Right,
5, I believe,
and without Austin. Austin missed about 5 or 6.
About that.
And look what they're doing. If you look at Austin's numbers in year 5 versus Kobe's numbers in year 5, do you know that Austin Reeves has better numbers?
I mean,
I think it's a little early for that, because here's the thing.
But I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's Kobe, but I'm just saying the way he's performing right now. To your point,
and I think
Kobe had his season,
and I think
pardon the pun.
Also, what is helping Reeves is the fact that they're basically playing 4 starters and then just whoever's healthy for the 5th spot in that lineup.
Yeah,
I looked at it earlier. They've had 8 guys start that 5th open spot in the rotation throughout the year so far. So they've had a total of 12 people as their starting 5, and we're only 25 games in.
That's crazy.
And that is insane. But I think that's part of what makes Luka and Reeves be able to have these ungodly stats is just because they are having to play more.
But let me ask you guys this. So you've got Luka and Reeves, right? Really good foundation for the future. Think about it. Both young.
Good. I mean,
right?
Austin Reeves keeps pushing the boundary of what I think is possible. He keeps raising his ceiling.
He has his whole career.
Yeah. It's been progressive.
Remember, he's an undrafted free agent.
I know. He's very impressive.
Right? That's the beauty of the Lakers scouting. But now you've got these 2 guys you're building your rock on now. And all of a sudden, what if you add, I don't know, how about Giannis? He's going to go somewhere next year.
They just don't have anything to trade that the Bucks would want.
But he's a free agent
Except
next year.
Reeves.
He's not a free agent.
Isn't he a free agent next year?
No.
I don't
he
believe he
Oh, no, you're
is.
right. He's got to trade. They'd have to trade Austin probably, which they're not going to do.
Well, they could. I mean, they would have to. They would need
But
to.
you wouldn't want to, because if you can keep those 2 in place and then bring on Giannis, oh my goodness, what a 3.
Yes, what a 3, but that's not happening. That'd be again.
Never say never.
No,
We're talking the Lakers.
No, but they're not. That was such just a aberration. Look,
Unless Nico Harrison gets hired by the Bucks, there's no way they're trading.
You go.
There we go. That helps. Also, I know it's a bit of a cheat, but I think it's applicable. It's not a backcourt. I know. So by definition, it's breaking the rules. But seeing that we're in the most positionless basketball era that we are in, Jokic and Murray.
I honestly, when I saw that on the sheet, I kind of did think about that for a second.
I know it's breaking the mold of the question, but that does feel like the combo that you're thinking of. If we're just talking about ball handlers and then a 1 and a 2 and a shooting guard, because really, Jokic is the point guard. It's Murray who's the glorified point guard who's a shooting guard in sheep's clothing.
And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that we're playing positionless basketball, Luka would not really be considered backcourt either.
True.
That's true.
He'd be a forward.
Yeah.
Forward. So, I mean, I wouldn't hate saying Jokic or Murray. I did think about that.
It's a thought. As far as Giannis being able to be on the move, I find the timing of his injury a little funny.
I'm gonna say this.
Oh,
okay.
You getting spicy?
Ready for the hot take?
What are we in? 10:33 a.m. here on the West Coast.
Here's the hot take here.
Oh, okay.
Wherever Giannis goes, it does not matter. And
I think that's technically a cold take because he's throwing a cold bucket of water on our Giannis.
True, that is true.
A cold bucket of hummus.
In the past 6 seasons, Giannis has only played 70 games or more one time.
Wow.
He's not as bad as Embiid, who's only, playing 30 to 40 games a season.
Yeah, I mean,
but with his play style, he is not going to make it. He's not going to have a LeBron style. He's not making it 20 years.
Is that his play style, or is that what he's being forced to be because he's on a team where totally rely on him?
What Luke is saying is that his physicality is his game. So the moment it's
right,
Russell Westbrook-esque, where the moment the physicality and the athletic ability that is so far leaps and bounds above everybody else in the league, like he makes everybody else seem unathletic. The moment that dips, he becomes a lesser player as to that goes.
And unlike Blake Griffin, who did develop a jump shot throughout his career, unlike AI,
Weirdly enough, yeah.
And even AI developed a jump shot because he realized that he couldn't be athletic forever.
Yeah.
Giannis's shooting numbers are actually getting worse. In the 19 to 20 season, the 21 to 22 season, were his career highs in 3-point percentage and free throw percentage. It was like 30% and I think like 70%. Since that time, they have both just nosedived.
Well, the free throw percentage, you just kind of throw that out. If he makes one at all, you're just saying, ooh, bonus points.
But that's what I'm saying is he's in year 13. He's had the time and the opportunity. He's still missing games. He's not developing anything outside of his
year 13.
Yeah.
He was young.
This is his 13th
He was real
season.
young when he came into the league.
Wow.
And so like, I just don't, he's going to go somewhere and whoever trades for him is going to have maybe, in my opinion, maybe like a 2 to 3 year window, but you're going to have to give up so much for him. I think it might be similar to the Suns trading for Durant.
No,
You're going to give up so much that your team will be gutted.
Yeah.
No, I challenge your hypothesis here, just on his claim by not giving you one team, Houston Rockets or the San Antonio Spurs. I'm sorry, I'll give you two teams. Either of those teams acquire Giannis, they don't have to give up so much that it is detrimental to the team that they have currently, that they are winning a championship guaranteed.
I disagree with both.
You cannot disagree with the Spurs.
The Spurs, I will disagree with, and I'm going to pull out the same trick here. I'm not trusting that Wemby will stay healthy.
I say I'll give you that one.
Yeah, exactly. And you would have to have him healthy.
Oh, yeah.
If he is not healthy, then the Spurs are not a contender. And right now he's being just as healthy as Joel Embiid.
That team would be nasty though.
It would be, but I don't have any. Wemby
awful.
has yet to show us. This is year 3, I believe, right? Am I getting my math wrong?
No, that's correct.
Yeah. And he is still yet to show us that he can stay healthy for a year.
Well, I don't need him to stay. I mean,
And he's not dominant either.
I'm fine with the Dodgers' approach to the basketball.
But
season.
we don't know if he can even do that.
Just be healthy for the
We
postseason.
haven't been able to see him even attempt to be healthy late season. And then also for the Rockets,
I think rookie season.
I don't think so.
I think rookie season they purposefully held him out, so he lasted the entire season with a couple games missed. That was just coach's DMP.
mean, we can hope that that's what happened, but at the end of the day, we're never going to know 100% sure if that's what was happening. But either way, and for the Rockets, I think that's a better example. But I still think that you are giving up a lot of depth for Giannis. And on top of that, you are now basically putting all of your eggs into one basket that is very old, and both of which have had health issues in recent years.
In Kevin Durant and
Giannis.
Yeah.
Like and so I think that, again, you're going to have a 2-year window with where you're praying that both of them are healthy, because Kevin Durant, you never know how his health is going to go. He has been getting more injury prone as he's gotten older.
Sure.
And so he is one more Achilles or ACL away from not being the player that he is. So I just think that right now, any team that gets Giannis, you're going to have that 2 to 3 year window, and you have to win then. And at that point, you might have given up everything you need to win.
Disagree, but you're entitled to your opinion.
That's fair.
Wow.
And I will say,
Wow.
to correct myself and to help your point, even though you're still wrong, Wemby did play 71 games his rookie year.
Yeah.
I did think that number was lower.
Well, I would say after listening to your evaluation of Giannis,
Yeah.
I no longer want him on the Lakers.
You're welcome. I
Thank you.
just saved LA.
I hope he goes to the Clippers. Okay.
I cursed LA.
You just did. You cursed us. All right. Are we done with NBA?
I think we're done with NBA.
Let's move on. College football. We never talk enough college football. And we're at that time of year where we look now, and the college football playoffs is kind of shaped up now. This is the championship week, right? I think there's a few conference championships
Today.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're at the penultimate ranking of the college football
Right.
playoffs.
I think we have Georgia, Alabama today.
We do.
What's the other one? Is the other one the Big 12? Texas Tech and BYU?
Yes.
Sure, that's going on right now. BYU winning 7-0, 4:30 left to go in the
And
first.
they're like a 14-point underdog.
I think that they were 17 last I had checked.
By the way, the final CFP rankings is Sunday.
No, I
This
said
Sunday.
penultimate.
Penultimate.
Means right before the last one.
Yeah, the week before the last one.
Yeah.
Well, that would imply that next week would be the final.
I said the penultimate. The penultimate ones were
You
last
said-
week.
I don't think that's what you said.
That is what I said. Run the tape back, Ralph. Thank you.
Run it back, Ralph.
Anyways,
On air.
and then of course the big one that everybody will be looking at: 2 undefeated teams enter. 1 team must lose, leaving. It would be the Ohio State University versus Indiana.
That's going to be a game
It's
for
gonna be an
Ohio
ugly
State.
game. Like that is going to be like winner wins 3-0.
This game
I
is
hope
so
so.
important for, I think his name is Mendoza, the quarterback
Yeah.
of Indiana. If he can go into Ohio State and beat Ohio
That
State,
is such an important game for Heisman.
his
Isn't it
draft
crazy?
stock will just go through the roof.
Into December, into the middle, early portions of December. I can't confidently say who the Heisman winner is. I can't confidently say who the college football championship winner will be. And I can't say who the best team in the NFL even is. Like, is it the Patriots?
Oh, I can. But anyway,
Okay,
we'll get
talk
there.
about it.
But you're right. But we're at a point now where you look at all this and it's shaping up. And then you look at these two teams. You look at Miami, who's about to get screwed, in my opinion,
Yes.
because you have Notre Dame sitting there as an independent, which is just ridiculous. And they're gonna get a bid in, and Miami's gonna be out.
Yes.
So,
And that is wrong,
so
in my opinion.
we've stated this on this very show
Mhm.
in the beginning, and I told you it would happen. I forecasted it then, and I remain to say it this year, or to this very moment. Notre Dame is such a sham mockery of a fraudulent team that it is
Sham mockery.
utterly ridiculous. Pick a conference. It's not cute. It's not cute what you're doing. You think that you're just so sly that you get to slide in and be pseudo ACC? Well, forget about it. Forget it. I don't care when your losses happen. The schedule is the schedule. And just because you lost on opening weekend to Miami does not dilute the fact that you lost to Miami this very season. I get it. You're on the same pod or whatever this is. Like, I don't know where these terminologies come in, but the college football playoff committee just loves to invent new phrases on which to hide behind. But because you're just in this pod with BYU, Notre Dame, and Miami, then you don't have to have head to head. I don't even care. The fact that you're putting them above Miami when they have the best tiebreaker of all. Head to head. You know where that matters? The NFL. You know where that matters? In the NBA. You know where that matters? Any other sports league where head to head and rankings and records are kept. Head to head matters because all the rest of these things, strength of schedule, points, margins of victory, everything else is and can be subjective to some degree. What isn't is head to head because I saw it. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And it wasn't this, Notre Dame, if they were to play again, I don't care. We're in the same season. Nothing changed. They're not even an Ole Miss. If you were to tell me that Mario Cristobal were to be the next head coach of the Tennessee Titans and he was gone, we can have a discussion. That has not happened. The quarterback for Miami has not changed. Main offensive pieces are still in play. Defensive pieces are still in play. The rest of that team is the same. Notre Dame just happened to beat up on a bunch of tomato cans throughout the whole season, fluff up their resume and say, forget about what happened in week 1. Week 1 doesn't count. I'm sorry. It counts. You want to glorify preseason, be my guest. But for week 1, that wasn't even a week 0. Week 1, get out of here. Miami should be in. Or at least be ahead of Notre Dame. And we can have a different discussion.
Yeah. Same. And
I haven't seen
100%.
you guys agree yet.
This
good.
100%. We talk about this on air, off air.
Yeah.
We had the exact same discussion last time I came on the show. We predicted this exact thing would happen. They would lose to Texas A&M. They'd blow out the rest of their cupcake schedule.
Yep.
And then they would get to just skate on in as a 10th, 11th, 12th seed because they're Notre Dame and they're independent. And it's a joke. It shouldn't be allowed. It is honestly kind of embarrassing for the sport. I think that Notre Dame shouldn't be allowed or be eligible for the playoff until they join a conference. I don't care. And they never will because they will lose money to do it. But that's just my opinion is that they need to pony up and they need to join a conference.
100%. I think all three of us are in 100% agreement on this. This is absolutely wrong, and what's going to happen to Miami is ridiculous.
I do think I think I've come around. I do no, and simply that I think Miami gets in. I think that the pathway is there because
is it though?
I think no matter how the result happens, I think Alabama, Georgia, either team loses, I think that they're in.
Wait. You think if Alabama loses to Georgia, they should be in?
I think that they are in.
Losses.
I don't know.
They should be out.
Should be and
come on, at 10-3, if Alabama gets in there, this is ridiculous.
Regardless, Alabama's okay. So even regardless, let's go either way. If they lose, they're out. I think that pushes everybody up. BYU is not going to stay stagnant at 11 either. I think that they will kick out Texas Tech, or Texas Tech will kick them out because, albeit that's going to be their second team. If you can't beat a team twice and you get 2 cracks at them in a year, honestly, I kind of feel like that's your playoff on its own, right? Like if Georgia can't beat Texas and they face each other twice, I'm like, well, I guess technically that was you had a chance to remedy a loss. I don't need to see that potential matchup a third time. I know how it's going to go. So that I understand it's kind of unfair that BYU, the Mormons over there are openly weeping that they don't get multiple attempts just because they like in their, they want multiple attempts at everything in life. I'm sorry. If
they lose today, well, they'd be 11-2. I mean, their schedule is Big 12.
I get it. You're punishing them for losing in a championship round. If you get to go up because of a championship, I think then you two get to go down because of a championship.
Well, you don't necessarily go up because of a championship. You just are guaranteed a spot because of a championship because they got rid of
Alabama's going to go up if they win the championship or the SEC championship. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I see but I think that's because by nature, Georgia will go down.
Well, yes. So
and they'll still make the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyways, regardless. So BYU is going to be out of this 3 little man pod that they've coined, that they've created, that they somehow invisibly taped together. And so then whenever that tethering is snapped, and now we have just direct comparison to Notre Dame and Miami, what will the lone tiebreaker be that makes sense between 2 and not 3 head to head? And I think that Miami then surpasses Notre Dame, and that's their excuse. Because going into last week, it was so predictable to see that Notre Dame would still remain at the top. However, I think that sometimes you have to get into the mind of the voters and just see like where they give themselves a path. They give themselves an outlet. And I think that's the way that they've been able to manage and will be able to gymnastic their way into it and be like, forget the Irish. Who cares about the Irish? Fight amongst yourself.
Here's the issue you're gonna run into. One, you got to fit Tulane in there because they're the highest ranked Power 5. So that's going to drop.
They're automatically in, right? They're because they won last night. They
have to go in, because they won last night. They're going to be the highest ranked. So now you're down to 11 spots. And on top of that, you have to put in the ACC champ, which will be Virginia or Duke, both of which are out.
You don't have to put them in.
Yes, you do. You literally have to. That is the rule.
I didn't think that you had to put Duke in. If Duke won, I didn't think that you had to put them in.
It is the conference champion. It's the Power 4 champs, and the
fellas looking at us.
Please do, because that was was the impression I was under.
Live on air fact checking.
I would love if I'm wrong. Please let me be wrong. But I thought that was the whole thing, because that was partially why ASU was guaranteed to get in last year, was because they won the Big 12. But there was still talk about them not being like, people didn't want them in. So they redid it so that the top 4 conference winners don't get the top 4 seeds anymore. But to my understanding, I thought the Power 4 champs and the highest rated Power 5 or group of 5.
So it would either be Duke or the Sun Belt champion James Madison, which is currently ranked at number 25. So I think that they would choose James Madison.
Why would it be between those two?
Because they would be the Sun Belt champion.
Why would that? Why is the Sun Belt?
Because they need to have champions. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be Power 5.
Really?
The CFP's current format admits the 5 highest ranked conference champions and 7 at-large teams.
Oh, so I just assumed it was
Yes.
Power 4.
Yes.
That's what happens when you assume, folks.
Yes.
Is that what happens?
That's what happens. So regardless,
And you just assume it's going to be the ACC because it's the ACC and not,
Well, then regardless, either way, that's a spot that's not going to go to Miami. So that's now we're down to 10 spots. So I think that Miami not being a conference champion is what's going to ultimately undo them. It's disappointing. And now that I have that information, but I think that is what's going to hurt them. I had a longer train of thought here, but that sidebar just completely derailed me.
I was like,
and honestly, shocked me.
Yeah, because in my mind, I was like, I did not have Duke equating into this. And so it was in reverse of you, where I was like, I didn't have Duke in at all.
So it'll be Virginia or James Madison.
Virginia or James Madison, yes. And James Madison, weirdly enough, I think, if memory serves, who played James Madison? Was it?
They won last night. I
They
believe.
did.
Yes.
But I think it was like to some unranked team.
I forget. James Madison plays a part in all this as far as they played somebody.
Troy.
Yes.
So,
man, you got to love this. This is fantastic on the air research.
At the end of the day, we are going to get Tulane Green Wave and possibly the James Madison Dukes in the college football.
And where
playoffs.
this equates is that in game number 2 of the year, James Madison lost to Louisville. And because of Louisville, that's a common opponent that I believe that obviously Miami plays, that they lost to, but that bumps up their status. And for Notre Dame, they don't have that. So it could be a better loss for Miami.
By the way, Blissful Hayes is on the text line, says he thinks Phillips is a Notre Dame fan. He thinks you love Notre Dame.
Oh my!
So
Notre Dame is so
possible.
obnoxious. Like they're the 2 most obnoxious teams in college football. And trust me, there's many contenders, but the 2 most obnoxious are Ohio State, with their trying to copyright the word the. Absurd.
The Ohio State. The, not the.
I know,
The.
I know, but I like saying the so that way that they send, and then Notre Dame, just because they always manage to just mess up fun, where everybody's like, oh, this is great, but then, oh, that's right, Notre Dame's undefeated. Oh, so let's go put them in. And
You know what's funny is when you look back at the preseason top 25 and kind of see where they're at now. It's like, for instance, preseason top 25, Texas was number 1. I think they're 13th right now, right?
they are. And let me tell you, if the committee could, they put them in.
They would.
They're going to try. They will try.
Penn State unranked right now. They were number 2. They had the Ohio State ranked at number 3.
And they finally hired their 5th head coach option.
That is a bad. Also, isn't that crazy that college football has changed so much in the NIL era that it's not the college itself, it's not the institution. What matters is the head coach. Because for the longest time, it was the culmination of coach and institution that made Alabama what it was. But it was known that USC recruits itself, Florida recruits itself, LSU recruits itself. Now, James Franklin made it known that Virginia Tech, hey, all those recruits that you had over there for Penn State, making that a respectable recruit class, they're coming with me to Virginia Tech. Like, I mean, it's not at least like they went to, again, LSU, Florida, anywhere that's like respect. It's just Virginia Tech. So they were just loyal to James Franklin and even the money, I'm sure. It's not Penn State. It's crazy that exists now.
A couple other ones that were really surprising. Then I want to ask you a question. So a couple of surprises really. Clemson was ranked number 4 preseason.
I forgot about
Remember
that.
them? Everybody was talking about national championship. Clemson, they're not even
Clemson was a
ranked.
part of the conversation. Yeah.
ASU was ranked 11th at the time. They're not ranked.
Injury.
Yeah. They had so many injuries.
We can say injuries, I guess. I'll just say they suck. Indiana was actually ranked 20th at the start of this year, so no one saw this one coming.
Well, I'm surprised that they were ranked, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 20, and Ole Miss was ranked 21st.
Well,
Ole Miss had a year.
If you want to talk about teams that I would consider leaving out that by all right deserve to be in, Ole Miss losing Lane Kiffin, it's not going to happen, but I could see. I mean, it's in the bylaws that the CFP says they have the discretionary ability to remove teams or to lower teams due to
whatever they want.
Basically. Yeah, but by whatever they want, but by circumstances of removal or loss of quarterback or head coach. They specifically list coach.
They can change their rankings.
Yeah.
So what if a player or two decides they don't want to play?
Yeah, I mean, that's again what happened to Florida State. What, 2 years ago?
Right. So
Florida State.
So you're saying if these players decide they just after the season, I don't want to do this, they can lower the ranking.
Certainly. I mean, no team, no player ever has. And I don't see a scenario.
I didn't know that. That's insane.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically, what happened to Florida State.
That happened to Florida
That's why they got kicked out, was because even though they kept winning, it was so ugly with those backup and then third string quarterbacks, which I will still say was the right decision.
I agree.
My question for you before we go to our top of the hour break, we were talking about this before the show a little bit. So for instance, let's look at a Texas or a Clemson, and you're the team that goes in there in the beginning of the year and you beat number 3 Clemson or number 2 Clemson. I think they were even number 1 at one. No, they never hit number 1 or number 1 Texas, and you beat them. The value of that win at the time, you beat the number 3 ranked Clemson Tigers, who is now not even ranked. So when you look at strength of schedule after the fact, when you're looking at the playoffs, do you lose that value of that win because they were 3 when I beat them, but now they're not even ranked?
To me, it looks at, you look at why they aren't ranked. For Texas, it's because Arch Manning was not as good as they thought they would be, as people thought he would be.
Right.
And I think that win does not have the same amount of value because at the end of the day, you beat a team that just wasn't that good. They were not good enough to be ranked number 1.
So then why do we have rankings in the beginning of the season? We shouldn't have preseason rankings.
That's what I said when you were gone.
I heard you say that. And I think that's the whole argument, right? Why should we have these preseason rankings?
Because
we should not.
Because people still need a menu. Because
no, we don't.
We don't.
You do because, look, just because you order on DoorDash the sticky bao buns, and then whenever the DoorDash order arrives at your door, you get some Carl's Jr., are you going to want a refund? Yes. And that's what we're talking about. Are you going to want a refund on saying like, oh yeah, they beat a then ranked number 4 Clemson team, but what does that matter in the long run? It doesn't mean, tell Brian Kelly all about beating a high ranked Clemson team. That didn't do him much help. Right. I understand that. That being said, it gives people some evaluation, something to go off of. I think
that is entirely wrong. There was no reason to have any of that evaluation.
Ohio State was correctly ranked.
But what's the purpose of it?
But people knew that they didn't need a menu for that. Everyone knew Ohio, but they didn't. If you needed to see that little 3 next to Ohio State week 1, then you actually didn't really care about what that little number was. Let's be for real.
It's a valid point.
I feel much stronger about my Giannis take. If I'm being honest.
There really isn't a whole lot of value in a preseason ranking. We should let it go out for a few weeks and then we can start.
It's kind of like it's propaganda.
Especially when there's no AP, especially when AP does not matter anymore.
Right. Why do we even bother with rankings until we get to the CFP rankings?
The CFP ranking started in week 11, and this is the top 4 they had. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama. They also still had Georgia, Ole Miss, BYU, Texas Tech, Oregon. Oh, hey, that kind of looks a little bit similar to what it is now. It's almost as if we waited until we were further in the season, we get better rankings that actually matter.
You know what's also interesting is that the AP continues to do a poll, just nobody cares once the CFP ranking comes out. There's a lot of discrepancy between the current AP top 25 and the college football playoff ranking.
There sort of is. When I was going through it, I think the majority of the differences, though, were only like they swapped a couple teams by 1. I think James Madison.
I was going to say James Madison is the greatest valley of discrepancy, where they are ranked number 19 in the AP top 25 as compared to the 25th team on the CFP.
Which I don't really understand why.
I think they're just putting a lot of value on a championship.
The AP?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. That, but no, because that was before the championship, right?
I think
that would have been last week. Maybe, but still. It is weird. I think we should get rid of
and we were also discussing before the show, one thing before we go to the break. College football has the very, very unique problem of whenever looking upon somebody's season and win-loss record, you go back in time and you directly have in correlation to a win or a loss the team and their ranking that they played at the time that they played it. So if I go to Notre Dame and they face Miami in week 1, Miami's ranked number 10 in that particular instance. And it's wholly unique and also somewhat meaningless. It's an odd problem to have. And I think there's only one way to solve it, with the slash. Gotta have the slash.
Blissful Hayes says he believes that they have preseason college football rankings to market and advertise the season is when the season starting. Hey, we're gonna go to break. Join us for hour 2. It's gonna be a whole lot of NFL. It's Weekend Warriors.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harmon Solar podcast first?
The what?
The Harmon Solar podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harmon Solar podcast. Go check it out at harmonsolar.com.
After you cook, are you staring at a pan full of grease? Pan dust turns hot, messy grease into dry, scoopable crumbs in seconds. Sprinkle, stir, let it set, wipe it out, done. Fewer towels, cleaner counters, and yes, happy drains. Want to see it work? Open YouTube and search Pan Dust Absorbs Grease, or go straight to our channel at Pan Dust Absorbs Grease. Watch a quick demo, hit subscribe, and share it with your bacon-obsessed friends. It works on cast iron, non-stick, baking sheets, even grill pans. It's plant-based, no harsh smell, and cleanup is weirdly satisfying. Make cleanup the easiest part of cooking. Pan Dust absorbs grease.
Game day, date night, or a midweek bite. Make the Spot Neighborhood Grill your go-to. Sizzling burgers, crispy wings, street-style tacos, fresh salads, and shareables that disappear fast. Add an ice-cold draft or a classic cocktail, and you've got your new neighborhood favorite. Wall-to-wall TVs so you won't miss a play, a patio made for Arizona evenings, and that friendly local vibe you love. Find us at 2 Valley locations, Scottsdale at 18,251 North Pima Road, and Glendale on 5350 West Bell Road. Dine in, grab takeout, or order ahead. Find us at thespotgrill.com for the menu, hours, directions, and daily specials. Again, that's thespotgrill.com. The Spot Neighborhood Grill. Great food, great people.
Turn your backyard into the best seat in the house with Curbalite, the app-controlled landscape curb that wraps your trees in color. Pick any hue, run preset scenes, even schedule your lights right from your phone. And on party night, make the lights dance to the music. Choose the traditional round tree ring or the contemporary square. Both install in minutes and link together for bigger, brighter displays. Connect up to 12 sets to frame your whole space. Built for real weather, Curbalite is tested in extreme heat and cold, so your glow goes year-round. Level up your nights, game day, holidays, or just because. Get Curbalite now at Curbalite.com. That's Curbalite.com.
The Weekend Warriors, taking sports talk radio to a new dimension. Listen to Ralph, Neil, Phil, and guests break down the news.
Isn't that what everybody wants?
The games.
If you like the NFL, this is your shot.
The matchups.
This will be the last year I will ever see one 3,000 strikeout player, much less 2 facing each other.
The Weekend Warriors.
We are known to chant as well.
You're listening to the Weekend Warrior Show. It's time for hour number 2.
It's the Weekend Warriors. Warriors, come on to play.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, everybody. It's a little after 11 o'clock on this beautiful, and I mean beautiful, Saturday morning. I'm Ralph Romano, alongside my partners in crime. I've got the legendary Philip Amrine, and we have the master fill-in, Luke Wright. And this is the Weekend Warriors. Phil, how can people watch us or listen to us?
They can join us, of course, on any of our social media platforms in whatever way that they're finding us now, whether that be YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. But most importantly,
and
probably, how dare I, and X. But most importantly, they can join us and be sexy on the text line. Ladies line is open. And 866-412-6366. Yes, 866-412-6366. If you forgot a 6, add one.
There's a lot of 6s there.
Oh, it is a 6y little text line is what it is.
All right. Good conversation, hour one. Love the college football conversation. I think we all agree on that one.
Which is shocking.
It's kind of shocking, yes. Let's go to the NFL. It's time to switch gears. We got to talk NFL. We're hour 2. We're all about the NFL in hour 2. And you know what? I'm all about Kyler Murray. I want to talk about Kyler Murray because we all knew this was coming, right? We all knew I felt anyway, there was no way this guy was playing again this year. They were going to keep him quietly in the corner and kind of phase him out because I think you've seen the last of Kyler Murray in a Cardinal uniform. So I really want to hear your guys' thoughts on Kyler Murray. I think he's done as a Cardinal. Who knows where he goes next year? Hey, maybe he's a Raider next year. Who knows? But I think he's done in Arizona, and I think most fans in Arizona are glad to see him go. So what do you guys think?
I think, yes, this is probably the end of his time in Arizona. I'm very curious how the actual breakup will happen in the offseason. I don't know if they really want to eat having to cut him. And I don't know who would really want to trade for him and give up. I don't know if they're going to get
people
what they
want to trade for him.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. First of all, that contract is completely tradable, especially with the guarantees that are paid for by the Cardinals. Do I think that they'll get a lot? No, it's not.
No.
It's not like you're trading. I don't know.
He sucks. Dude, he's been a terrible quarterback now for how many years?
He's better than what the Jets have. He's better than what the Raiders have.
I can't
He's better
argue.
than what the Steelers have.
I don't know if he's better. I don't know if he's better than what the Raiders have, and I don't like what the Raiders have.
I think he's better than Geno Smith,
and especially for that situation.
Especially given that the biggest thing that the Raiders need is a quarterback who can actually leave the pocket.
So because of that, and because he has a completely manageable contract that also you can cut at any point in time because all the guarantees will be paid off and done by the Cardinals, I think that he does have a level of attraction. I just also, let's take an aside here. Jonathan Gannon is absolutely hilarious. I just feel bad for the quarterback. He got hurt and he wasn't healthy enough to play. So, I mean,
is that what he said?
Yeah. So,
he's
I mean,
such a tool.
That's
man.
first and foremost. That's where I would leave it right now. He said he's disappointed that Murray was out for the rest of the season.
No,
buddy, you told all of us that you got to bench him for what? What do you mean you're disappointed that he's not out there for the? I mean, God, I'm completely right. Just
who does he think people are? Does he think he's like a politician? Does he think people are stupid? They're going to just listen to what he says and believe him.
And here's the thing.
He's hoping that happens for his players.
Well, and here's the thing. I hate when coaches do this. And I think a lot of coaches in general fall for this. You are not getting the competitive advantage by like being coy here.
Yeah.
You were not getting a competitive advantage when you didn't want to like commit to saying somebody's hurt or not hurt 3 days before the game. I hate when coaches do this where they like be political and they try to be coy because they want to maintain the competitive advantage and they want to be like, oh, will they, won't they? Like, no, like it doesn't work. It's not actually going to help you win a game. Just go out there and tell the truth.
Yep.
Hey, he wasn't doing great. He was hurt. The offense is running better with Jacoby. We're leaving him out there and we want Kyler to just focus on healing.
You know why they're doing that though? They're being coy because they don't want to hurt his value, because if they want to try to get something for him and they're sitting there saying what a cancer he is and how he's struggling, that's going to hurt his value.
And here's, in this case, yes, but I was also broadly talking about the people who do it because of the competitive advantage.
Yeah, no, understood.
I think that part is also very dumb. But yes, in this case, you're trying to protect the value, both from that perspective, but also from the perspective of we don't want him to get hurt and then have to pay the guarantees on that and lower his value even further. But it's just the whole thing is just kind of a joke. I'm not of the belief that Kyler's a terrible quarterback. I think he's a fine quarterback. I think he has
for what, midget football? What do you mean? I don't understand.
He's a perfectly okay quarterback. There are going to be some weeks where he's
He has
gonna
the
be
potential to be the best,
Does he?
top 5 quarterback any given week. He has that potential.
He has that potential. Yes. I don't. He cannot do it consistently. And he has the potential to be a bottom 5 quarterback any week as well.
I mean, all jokes aside, he can't see over the line. You can tell, but he struggles to see down.
That's why he scrambles outside.
Right?
So
Right, because he really does struggle. His size is an issue. He struggles to see downfield, to see what his receivers are doing. There's no doubt about it. And you saw that instantly when Brissett took over and started finding guys like McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. that he could never see.
I think Brissett also took over when they were on their like 4th string running back, and Petzing finally realized I can't just run the ball down the middle every single time.
Well, and Petzing's another issue, which I think he's gone at the end of the year. I'd be surprised to see him come back.
Well, I'm hearing rumors that he's getting head coaching interviews, Ralph.
Yeah. I remember who was it said that? I was like, oh my gosh, that was the most ridiculous statement. But Kyler does have an issue seeing downfield. Kyler makes really bad decisions when he's on the run. Really bad decisions. He makes some horrendous throws when he's outside the pocket on the run.
Well, I mean, but also he's been rewarded with that, right? Like whenever you think about the moment with Kyler Murray, with DeAndre Hopkins and that catch, that tremendous. I mean, that's part of an impromptu play.
True. But here's my biggest issue with Kyler Murray. He is not a leader. Not on the sideline.
That's a good
not
point.
in the locker room. He's the guy on the sideline sitting there moping and not talking to players and not trying to get them going. They could be down in a game, right? And he's not going to be the guy that's going to get with his receivers, get with his running backs, even get with his line and say, guys, let's go do this. We can do this and get him motivated. He's the guy that's going to sit alone in the corner and mope the whole time. That's what he does. And I can't stand that when I see somebody who's supposed to be a leader doing that. He brings the whole offense down. And you could even hear the comments you've heard from the Cardinals players or see on the field with Jacoby Brissett, who in my opinion is nothing more than a good second string quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all he'll ever
probably
be.
the best backup quarterback you can ask
The
for.
players are fired up about him because they've made the comments about how much more energy there is in the huddle and on the sidelines with Jacoby Brissett. That's been coming out. I mean, and you can see it. It's a different team. I still think there's bigger issues with the Cardinals, but I mean, when it comes to that, I mean, that's a big deal for me. And if I'm a team that wants to bring on a guy like that, why? I better have another guy on my offense that's a true leader if I'm going to bring in this guy, because he's not going to come in and be a leader.
And that's, I think, part of why he was more successful early in his career, because they had the other people to do that. You had Fitzgerald, Hopkins was very vocal. Like you had those players who could come in and do that, and you didn't need Kyler to do it. And that's why I think whoever trades for him, they need to make sure that they have those other vocal leaders, and you need to realize that Kyler's just not going to be that guy.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I have a football team, I want my quarterback to be the vocal leader on offense.
It doesn't always have to be.
But I want him. That's who I want. I want that guy. Because if you look at teams that have been successful, look down history. Let's look at the Montanas of the world, the Tom Brady's of the world, right? I mean, those guys were very vocal, they were leaders. I mean, and those teams were very successful because of it. Josh Allen, the guy that'll take that team, put it on his back, right? And go after it. Patrick Mahomes, the same thing, right? Those are the guys Sam Darnold, I'm kidding. But I mean, those are the guys you want quarterbacking your offense. Peyton Manning, John Elway. I mean,
and if I want my offense to be my focal point, then that is what I want.
Yes.
However, if I am a team like Denver and defense is my focal point, I'm just using them. Houston, I think, also fits this bill. If my team is a defense first team, and all I need is a game manager to go out there and not
a Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, exactly. And Peyton Manning,
I'll give you that.
In 2015.
I'll give you another Manning, Eli.
Let's move on from Mannings.
Yeah. But if that's what I'm looking for. I just need Kyler to come in.
That's a fair point.
And I just need him to hand the ball off effectively. And I just need that. Then I'm fine with getting him.
I could see a career-like resurgence a la Michael Vick in an Eagles uniform, where if for some reason you can get Kyler Murray on a value contract, if you can get him to where not a lot is asked of him, where he's just talent, if he's another one of the talented guys, and you get him into like a Pittsburgh where there's a culture where there are set franchise cornerstones and the quarterback is kind of plug and play, where even right now, Aaron Rodgers, it's taken till this week really that I've seen any grumbling, anything that would spark outrage.
It's finally happening.
Yeah, it's finally happening. It took a while. To his credit, it took a while, But he finally like, yeah, if we can get people into the film room, thanks, Aaron. But if you can get,
that was pretty cool though. I like that he said that. Say it, get him, call him out.
Well, but Kyler Murray's just going to be another piece. If you can get him to a place where he can just be another piece, I think he'd be much better positioned. And to your point, Ralph, something's got to give. Where I don't think that they, to the modicum of success that they did have, that has to be either on the part of the Cardinals or Kyler Murray. And I'm not giving that credit to the Cardinals.
Blissful Hayes says, it's funny, Kyler hurt his ankle when the center snapped a ball off his face mask because he wasn't paying attention. Sports Girlie says, I think there's a spot for Kyler Murray in high school football. Wishing him nothing but the best. Bye. Wow. Kyler Murray not getting any love.
You know, he should go to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a team that would love that.
I actually think that would be a good pairing.
But they're all in on JJ McCarthy.
No, they're not.
They're all in on Captain Handoff.
Which is just insane to me.
You know they're still all in on him, even though he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe the worst.
I think what this season has proven without a shadow of a doubt is that they're bringing in competition next year. I don't know that they're going to try, like they're not going to give up on JJ McCarthy, but there will be a competition.
I think Kyler would honestly be great. He has a perfect downfield target in JJ. That offensive line is not great, so if he needs to scramble, he can. And at the end of the day, Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, he can hand the ball off to them and be fine.
At that point, though, you do trade JJ McCarthy.
Bitter Dolphin fan says, with the possibility of Tomlin time running out in Pittsburgh, should a coach needy trade for him? And what would you give up for him? Or do you wait if he gets released and get into a bidding war? What do you three think?
For Coach Tomlin, very much depends on what franchise you are. Like, let's say Andy Reid steps aside and retires, and then you were to trade for Coach Tomlin. That situation, I could give up a first and justify it because you're continuing the culture. Oh, wow. You're continuing the culture. You're finding a coach with high pedigree, and he's continuing it on. If you're a New York Giants, I think we're getting down to a third rounder where it's like it has potential to be good, but there is a lot there that I need to rebuild, that I need some sense of stability. And in order to do so, I need the very draft capital I'd be giving away to acquire Mike Tomlin. And I don't fully trust that he can get a quarterback and groom a quarterback to prominence. So I might need that first round pick for later on. So I think it sort of depends. I would say in aggregate, probably a second rounder.
I wouldn't touch Mike Tomlin with a 10-foot pole.
Wow.
So there's your hot take.
Is it a hot take?
Yeah.
Is it a hot take to not want the coach who has been 500 for the last 7 or 8 years,
very
hasn't won a playoff team? Sorry.
Specifically at least one game above 500.
Or 500. Because,
yeah, that's fair.
Because that was before the amount of games changed. He hasn't won a playoff game. He basically was lucky that Ben Roethlisberger joined at roughly the same time. I don't know exactly if they were
no, because remember Cowher won a Super Bowl with Big Ben, and then it went to Mike Tomlin. And
there we go. Yeah. So congrats. He won a Super Bowl with Bill Cowher's team and then has proceeded to just kind of be middle of the pack since then. And I don't think that is really anything that I'm going to give up draft capital for. And honestly, even if he's released, I don't think I want to deal with what comes with signing him.
You are so harsh.
I am. You know what?
According to this guy, Ralph, Mike Vrabel should have never gotten another head coaching opportunity just because he got stuck with Ryan Tannehill and couldn't make it work.
But the difference was Mike Vrabel was not running that GM. He was not the one making those decisions. You could even see, there's literally video of Mike Vrabel seeing what's happening in the draft room and just shaking his head like, what are we doing? Like, Mike Vrabel did deserve a second contract because the Titans failed him. I think Mike Tomlin has failed the Steelers.
Huh.
And I think the Steelers are partially to blame for that. I don't think it's fully on Tomlin. But I truly believe Mike Tomlin, he's going to go down as one of the best coaches in history. He will.
He will.
And he is a good coach, But at this point, I don't know if I trust him to build a brand new franchise from the start.
I can agree with that. I mean, I think Tomlin has been the one coach that I've seen in my time is he's gotten the most out of less than I've ever seen. I mean, he's taken mediocre players, some quarterbacks that he's had at his disposal, like the Mason Randolphs of the world and those guys. I mean, and he's won with just questionable players in key positions. And I think that's a skill that's hard to find as a head coach. But I think you're right going forward. I'm not probably relying on him to start from scratch anymore. I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you.
And also,
you're with him?
I think
You've given up?
I think I'm with him.
That is absurd.
And what's crazy,
I'm with him.
We might see in the next year or two, we might see 3 of the, I think, top 4 longest tenured coaches without a job.
Pete Carroll.
4. Well, he's technically not longest
Yeah.
tenured.
Oh,
He's just old.
I'm thinking old.
But
Calm down, ages.
He kind of falls into the same category. And to be clear, before I say these names,
Yeah, I
I'm
wanna hear
not
this.
saying that they're all going to be fired. I want to be very clear on that.
They just have the potential to be fired.
No. They could also retire because, again, some of these people are old. Looking at you, Pete Carroll.
I forgot you guys together are ages.
Yeah. Oh, last week. Oh, but I used my 5 minutes as a 6-0 picker on a subject of my choosing to fire Terry Bradshaw and Al Michaels.
I fully agree with that. But
Bunch of ages.
Mike Tomlin
Okay.
could be without a job pretty
Sure.
soon.
I agree.
Harbaugh with the Ravens.
I agree. I think that may be.
I think that their time is
Somebody
coming
needs
to
to be
an
held
end.
accountable for it. And also Harbaugh
But-
just keeps underperforming.
But he will start something else somewhere else.
I could see that.
Someone will hire him.
Again, want to emphasize, not necessarily fired. I think Andy Reid is coming to an end soon.
Ooh.
Again, not
Retire.
fired.
I think he'll retire.
I think he's getting to the point. He's getting older.
Why deal with it?
This franchise is about to need to kind of, with Mahomes, you never need to go into a full rebuild, but they are definitely getting to the point where they are about to be losing more and more players. And outside of Rashee Rice, I'm not sure if they've necessarily done a fantastically amazing job at keeping the offense up to date. So I think it could very easily have Andy Reid retiring here pretty soon. Pete Carroll, I'll throw in there, even though I didn't originally think of him. But thanks for bringing his name up. But yeah, I think we're at a point where we're about to kind of see it's already happening because of how young the new head coaches are when they're being hired. But we're approaching a changing of the guard here in the NFL.
And speaking of Notre Dame, just to bring this conversation, they're outside of Marcus Freeman, who I think is going to be for the next couple coaching seasons, the great white whale that everybody's going to say, oh, well, what about him? Outside of him, it's not really a good coaching carousel this year. I think your best option, unless there's Tomlin, which you don't believe in, unless you believe in Tomlin, and you probably have to trade to get him, the best option is Robert Saleh, which again I believe in. I don't think New York Jets stain should follow him, and you saw
a pretty big stain.
Thank you for this segue.
Yes,
Sean McDermott should be fired if the Bills don't make the Super Bowl. They should then hire Robert Saleh as their head coach and hire Mike McDaniels out of Miami as their offensive coordinator.
Ooh.
If Mike,
I like that, to build a defense finally, because they don't have a defense.
Despite McDermott being a defensive-minded coach.
I agree, yeah. I think the flaw in your logic is, lest you forget, the Dolphins are making the playoffs.
Yeah.
In
the UFL.
That's the flaw in the logic.
No, unfortunately, I'm not sure that Mike McDaniels is going to be fired.
I think
100%. I actually don't believe that.
I think they wanted to wait until the end of the season because they knew it was already.
I think originally, but look at their schedule, man. Let's take a gander, if you will. Go flutter into the fish tank with me over there and with the Dolphins and check out their schedule. So obviously, right now they're 5-7, still alive somehow beyond all reason.
They will lose to the Jets and the Steelers and the Patriots.
Wow, the Jets.
They cannot play in cold weather. They are physically incapable of it. And it will be cold in New York. It will be cold in Pittsburgh, and it will be cold in Boston. Sorry, Foxborough. Before someone yells at me for that. They will lose at least those 3 games. I am not confident they will beat the Bengals or the Bucks either. I could see them going 0-5 to end the season. It was a great run when they had it. They got their little feel-good victory against the Bills.
3 wins in a row.
But beating the Commanders by 3 is not impressive. Beating the Saints by 4 is not impressive, which, by the way, you almost blew.
Pick 2.
So you almost screwed that up. And so I truly believe best case scenario, they will go 2-3 to end the season. I see a world where they might go 0-5. He will be gone. But boys and girls, this is why you don't let your coach end the year if you want to fire him, because if he does pull out some magical run, now you look stupid. You could be looking stupid because you want to fire a guy. I think it happened last year, 2 years ago. Someone fired a coach that was in the postseason. Why can't I remember the name?
It's possible. The one that I think of is like Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan kept his job so many times more because he just happened to rah himself into keeping a job.
He's terrible.
Yeah. Have your toes felt untouched since Rex Ryan was in the league?
He's just terrible. You missed one guy.
Who did I miss?
Jonathan Gannon.
I
think he's on the hot seat.
Yes, I think he will be fired at the end of the year.
He needs to be fired. He's a terrible head coach.
I also think Monty Austin-Fort should go with him.
I've never seen a coach do less than Jonathan Gannon. Let me catch up on the text line. Bitter Dolphin fan, of course, we got him going now. He says, "No, Phil, no playoffs. We want to draft in the top 19, not at 20."
Hey, I'm not saying
draft top 10, not 19.
I'm just saying the Dolphins will never do what you want them to do. And what do you want them to do? You want them to lose. Well, they're not going to do it.
Bitter Dolphin fan knows that better than anybody.
Michael Malone last year with the Nuggets. That's who I was thinking.
Oh, you're talking about the NBA. I'm sorry.
Still,
that was the example I pulled, but that's why you do it, is because you didn't want him to go on a run in the playoffs and then be like, well, we can't fire him now.
Yeah.
Sports Girlies on the text line says the Vikings need a quarterback that'll finally utilize Justin Jefferson. Kyler Murray will just do what he did with Trey McBride and Cardinals receivers. Nothing.
Wow.
It's a good point, right? Justin Jefferson is like at a point now where he's like, something better change here or I'm out. You bring in Kyler Murray, you think he's going to be happy about that?
He's going to be happier than JJ or
I don't know.
Rosmer.
He's going to look.
And also, why are we acting like Trey McBride didn't have an amazing season last year?
Because he didn't get a touchdown.
I guess, but he was setting franchise records for tight ends.
Blissful Hayes is on the text line, says Cardinals need to trade Kyler and Coach Gannon to the Steelers for Tomlin. I'm sure they can find a water boy job for Gannon. That's about what he could probably do, is be a water boy, maybe.
Wow.
He needs to go back to being a coordinator. He's a typical coordinator that's just not good as a head coach.
We'll talk about this in his memoriam when he does eventually get fired, but it blew my mind that he got hired after a Super Bowl loss as the defensive coordinator of a team that gave up like a historic amount of points.
Yeah.
And
it's just another bad hire by the
just a bad hire.
So it's time.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the games of last week.
Yes, folks, here we are again. The games of last week. Phil's favorite segment on the show.
It is, because it's a good segment to me. It's been a good segment in talking about the picks that I've made.
Yes. We should talk about last week, and I really was curious to ask you, so how did Shedeur do?
He did about as well as Kyle Stefanski would allow him to do.
So he sucked.
No, he didn't suck.
He sucked.
Do you know that like 10 of his attempts, before the fourth quarter began, he was only allowed 15 attempts.
Allowed. Would you let that guy throw your ball? I wouldn't.
Yes. Yes, I understand that the weather conditions were such.
I said you would say that. Go ahead.
Were such that you didn't want to possibly put the ball at risk. I think that this is where, much to your earlier point about coaching for your job and everything else, I think that it is counterintuitive to have a coach coaching for his job and develop a quarterback at the same time, because I do not think that they mesh together all that well. Look at Brian Daboll risking Jackson Dart and his long-term health and startability because he just wanted him to ring the damn ball. Kevin Stefanski, if his goal is to win, I would agree with you. Why would you put your franchise and game at risk by putting the football more in jeopardy, where Shedeur will probably air it out and make a few rookie mistakes, as rookies tend to do. But at least he has shown a propensity and ability to throw the ball and push the ball down the field that Dylan Gabriel simply did not exhibit or show, or frankly, to my opinion,
I just can't have
possess.
this conversation again. I'm going to let this go.
He was fine. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't good.
He's just a third string quarterback. How about we talk about an NFL debut last week? First game out for Mr. Brosmer against the Seahawks defense in Seattle. He looked fantastic.
I was texting Philip during the game and I was like, he just threw what might have been the worst interception I've ever seen in my entire life. And I tried to describe it to him and he's like, I'm not watching the game. So I sent him the X post that had the clip, and I believe he said some choice words that I cannot repeat on air, but suffice it to say, I think Philip would agree with me. It was one of the worst interceptions of all time.
That would be the worst pass I've ever seen if I'm entirely sure that it's a pass. I don't even know what it was. It was a lollipop little lob, but that was underarm. I think he was trying to ground it.
I don't think he was.
But
no, he was trying to make something. That poor kid was. I agree with you guys. It was a terrible play, but I'm not going to hate him for it.
Oh yeah, no,
because
I'm sure
your first start against a defense like that in their home, and the guy was just running for his life the whole game. I mean, what's he going to do?
We saw the beginning and end of his career all in one game.
Not that.
He was just like, I'm so done here. Just go, man.
The Seattle Seahawks are so nasty.
It was like the second quarter, I think.
They ended a man's career.
Yeah.
Do you know that is crazy?
I think that's verbatim what I texted. He was like, he literally just ensured he will never get another NFL job.
That defense is nasty.
Speaking of nasty.
It's not that nasty, though.
It's nasty.
Speaking of nasty, Seattle Seahawks offense, though. That was pretty nasty. Because
I don't think so.
I would say that 21 of those points.
Disgusting.
Yeah, 21 of those points were off of the back of the Seattle defense. 7 of them directly because of it. With that Max Brosmer aforementioned pick. I would be worried if I was you.
I'm going to tell you why I'm not worried.
Because we are currently seeing pumpkin mode sprout before us for Daniel Jones, and nobody disputes that.
No, but
it's
I'm not
about
worried.
that season for Sam Darnold.
But this is why.
Where's the confidence?
Look at this. If you look at their first bunch of games and you look at the last 5 weeks, the one thing Seattle's done the last 5 weeks is it made a conscious effort to run the ball. They are trying to really focus on that run game and get that line gelling before the playoffs start, because they know they need to run the ball in the playoffs to win the playoffs, right? And they've really focused on that in the last 5 weeks, and they've been in the top 5 of the league in rushing in the last 5 weeks because of it. That's been the primary focus. They've backed off of Sam Darnold throwing the ball. If you look at JSN last week, they only targeted him one time in the first half. I mean, they weren't really trying to throw much. So this is the best receiver in the game right now. He threw to him one time in the second half. Best receiver in the game this year so far.
I had to you've been trying to throw these like little paper planes that just soar past me, and I happen to just catch them.
I think JSN right now is having the best year as a receiver. So, but I mean, they didn't even
having the best year. Yes, best receiver in the game.
So that's why I'm not worried, because I see exactly what they're doing. You can tell what they're doing. They're fine tuning that defense, which, by the way, this week they're getting some great players back, and they're really trying to get that rushing game locked in so that they can really do a good mix as they go into the playoffs. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
As somebody who has Sam Darnold in their fantasy football league and has lost in the playoffs because of him, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, for sure, they very clearly they ran the ball 32 times.
Yeah.
Walker and Charbonnet combined for 27 of those. So like they very clearly are trying to become a rushing team.
They are putting an emphasis on it.
What concerns me, though, is that doesn't mean your passing game should be bad. And I think 14 of 26 for 128 yards and only targeting your tight end more than your star number one receiver.
But that's their offense. It's tight end heavy.
It's also JSN heavy.
No, I get it. He's deep threat, but it's tight end heavy. And you got to remember, Minnesota's defense, not bad.
It's not.
And that took JSN away a lot.
And that's why it's not like a complete, like 100% everything's going terribly. But I do think that you're on thin ice with Sam Darnold.
And he got sacked 4 times last week. And he had been sacked, I think, 6 times or 7 times all year prior to that.
But
they got to him.
You're going to face good defenses in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of my concern is I didn't necessarily like if you didn't get 4 picks from Mac Brosmer, one of them being a touchdown, I'm not sure that Seattle wins that game. If they're playing against anybody,
I don't know about that.
I'm not. I'm just That offense is slightly concerning. This is not the best week to determine whether or not they are going to be kaput or not, but I would say I would have some serious concerns. I mean, you average less than 4 yards a carry, and that was helped very much by Kenneth Walker getting basically half his yardage on one run. So like, it wasn't like you were great at running the ball. You just did it a lot. And against the Vikings that worked, but it is something I would be concerned with.
But this is like the 2013 Seahawks. I mean, it was all about their defense, right? Their offense was good when it needed to be, but like Russell Wilson wasn't having 400-yard games every week and throwing for 4 touchdowns, right? They relied on a running game, but they had Marshawn Lynch, obviously.
Yeah.
You relied on your running game, but I mean, you relied on that defense to make big plays, especially in big games. I could think, in the playoff games, like I think against Carolina Panthers, Cam Chancellor with the pick, running it back, making those big plays to win close games. And that's what Seattle's done.
Are you saying that this defense is as good as that defense? Because it's not.
I'm saying, okay, no, that front four is better than that team's front four. There's no doubt in my mind. This is a better front four. The back end has got the potential to be what that 13 team was, but it's not there yet. No way.
Okay.
That 13 team was Hall of Fame historic. The Legion of Boom. I mean, you haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Before or since. So no, I'm not saying that. But that front four, they put so much pressure on the quarterback without blitzing. That's unique, right? And that's important. And now they're getting Jaron Reed back this week. Holy moly. They're going to be even stronger. And they get Julian Love back this week. That defense will be even better this week going into the end of the season. And again, their whole thing is going to be when they play the Rams in 2 weeks. That's going to be the big game, right? That's probably for the number 1 seed in the NFC. I'll tell you right now, and I'll say it, I'll plant my flag. Here, let me plant my flag.
Why don't you?
Let me find it first.
Yeah, why don't you find a flag to plant over there, buddy, pal? Oh, by the way, side note, while we're waiting for a flag planting.
We do the flag thing, we know what we're getting ourselves into.
He is all about plant flagging.
If the Seahawks get the number 1 seed in the NFC, they will win the Super Bowl. That's my flag. You watch.
That's funny.
It's planted. It's set in stone.
That's funny. I will say this is a good year to plant that flag because I don't trust any team in the league. So
they're number 1 seed. Who's going to beat them?
Well,
the only team I'd worry about is the Rams.
Given their ability to play as well as they do to their maximum peak level on the road, one would argue actually that they should be.
I want to be in a position to sit at home for 2 games to go to the Super Bowl.
Again, if
they are playing better on the home team now.
Well,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Anyway, I know we've got to get into our picks here because we're running out of time.
We are running out of time. The one good thing that just to pay off the tease. The one good thing about all these turnovers that Sam Darnold is just giving to everybody like it's Christmas time.
He's a giving guy.
The one, yeah, he is. Is that he's actually the big thing that he's giving is giving Jackson Smith and Jigba a better chance at MVP. Because before it was like, oh, who's the reason for? Is it Sam Darnold? Is it Jackson Smith and Jigba? I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, if they get a number 1 seed, there's usually somebody who makes the list that you're like, oh, they could possibly, whatever.
I mean, all I'm going to say is, with 4 turnovers against the Rams, they were a yard away in that kick from winning that game.
And 4 turnovers doesn't seem unlikely to happen again.
When you have a defense that's that good, you can overcome the badness of an offense sometimes. I'll go back to the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl. They had Trent Dilfer as their starting quarterback. They did not have a good offense, but that defense won them a Super Bowl. Defenses can win Super Bowls. So just the point. So let's look at picks. So last week, Neil went 4-2, Phil 4-2, and I went 5-1.
Did we pick the Patriots game?
We all did, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I couldn't remember.
The one game we all lost was the Rams, and then you lost the Colt pick, and Neil lost the Steeler pick. So we'll go into this week, going into our picks. And Neil actually did finally text in his picks.
Yes, he did.
He did.
He did. Do you want me to read them as we go?
Yeah, as we go. Wrong one. Where's my new one?
I'm not sure. But, I love it. Let's ease right on into the picks.
Yeah, let's get into it. So let's start. We got the Colts at Jacksonville. To your point, the Colts have not looked the same over the last 3-4 weeks. I think they're actually 1-3. in the last 4 weeks?
Something like that. It hasn't been good.
It was an unimpressive win against the Falcons.
I believe that was international.
Yes. Yeah.
Who you got, Luke?
I'm going Jags.
Neil's coin flip goes Colts, and my pick goes Jags. Give me the long Mustang haired Trevor Lawrence for the win. In spite of themselves, they're winning.
Yeah,
I have no idea how. There's no reason or rationale why. And sneaky team to just stumble out of the playoffs after the beginning to the year that they did is the Colts. Colts are rife for potential to miss the playoffs.
They need to win this game
desperately
because they're in Seattle next week. I mean, they lose this game and they lose next week, they're probably out of the playoffs.
Maybe just because the Texans are also making a
right.
Push,
The Texans have totally made a push, right? And we'll talk about them in a minute, but this is such a big game for the Colts. This is their season, in my opinion. They have to win this game. With all that said, I'm taking the Jags because I am not a Colt believer anymore. I feel like Daniel Jones is at the end of his rope.
Well, with the fractured fibula, which I truly don't understand how one can even play through that, but it makes sense for the lack of mobilization that he's had for the past few weeks.
Load the box, stop them from passing. It's going to be an easy win for the Jags.
All right, here's an easy one. You got Seattle visiting the Atlanta Falcons. Seattle's a 7-point favorite in Atlanta, Phil.
Seahawks for me and Neil.
Is this money line or?
No, this is just money line, baby.
Okay, then Seahawks for sure. I was going to go Seahawks either way.
I was going to say, even with 7 points, I'm still taking the Seahawks. I think we all agree. And like I was just saying before, they are getting Jayden Reed back. So Jay Reed coming back, Julian Love coming back. Those are big. That's really big for Seattle. This defense is just going to get better.
And this Falcons team, I get Kirk Cousins, possibly without his top wide receiver, against this defense. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Happy Hanukkah.
No kidding.
All right, let's go to the next game. We've got the Broncos, 7.5-point favorite at the Raiders. I'm surprised they're only 7.5-point favorite. That was kind of shocking, actually.
Well, it's because the Broncos, if you look at their last 5 games that they were big time favorites, they've only covered 1 out of the 5. They're 1-4 because they do not blow teams out when you expect them to. The last time that they blew anybody out was the Dallas Cowboys, and that was simply because they shut down the only good thing that they're good at. So with that said, let's go Broncos. They keep winning. They somehow managed to make it a game over there in Washington last week, much to my chagrin and disappointment. But I'm still going to go with the Broncos because it's the regular season and they win in the regular season. It's the postseason that we'll have a different discussion. But
what does Neil have?
Neil has the Raiders.
Wow.
I think is how he typed it out too. So.
I'm so torn on this.
You can see it, right? You can see the loss.
You know what? I'm gonna say Raiders.
No,
it's gonna hurt. It's gonna, especially because my father-in-law is a Raiders fan. It is going to hurt, but they are due for a disappointing loss, and this feels like a disappointing loss. They played just a few weeks ago. It was 10-7 in Denver. They very clearly don't have it all together right now, and I think the Raiders need some sort of win.
You're making the case for an investment loss where you bank a loss so that way that we can keep Pete Carroll in the division. Ooh.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
What worries me about the Broncos is they're a team that always seems to be behind, right? And they have to come back.
Yeah.
Right? And then they barely squeak out these wins. And that's just not a good recipe for a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl, because eventually it catches up with you, right? And they haven't been able to seem to fix that. It's really weird. They just can't seem to figure out how to actually be a good first half team, take a lead, and just kind of coast, And that scares me for you.
Bo and Sean are not a very good match, and it's going to end very badly. And I'm scared it's going to end in us being like the Steelers, where we just basically go just 500 or a little bit better and then lose in the first round. And that's it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with what I think this is a prime upset game. This could be the Super Bowl for the Raiders this week. If they can win this game,
this would be their Super Bowl.
Right? It really would, because they got nothing else going on. Got Pete trying to save his job, I think. And Gino, I think, you're probably stuck with him for another year, at least because of his contract. So if I'm the Raiders, I tank this game hard because I'm trying to get that number 1 pick. So I can get the guy from Indiana and let Geno sit on the bench and make his $30 million, $50 million, whatever they paid him. I'm going Broncos. I think the Broncos are just too good. They're better than the Raiders.
After all of that,
all that, the Broncos are the better team.
What a
The
tilt-a-whirl.
Raiders just find ways to lose games. Geno flipping off the crowds and doing. That's
such a Raiders thing.
He's lost all his confidence. I mean, Pete Carroll at every press conference is trying to talk him up, and I don't even believe him anymore, and I don't think he even believes it anymore. So you got to go Broncos. All that just to say that. All right, let's skip here. Let's go to the Texans. Got the Texans visiting Kansas City to play the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite. Now the Texans, I'll start. The Texans defense is pretty nasty, and they've really been playing some serious ball the last few weeks. They've really got it together. And CJ's, he's okay. I don't think he is what we thought he would be.
I keep offering this dish to Neil, saying you can own this piece of historic debate. You can own it. Just say that CJ Stroud's not that good. You can be the guy on the top of that hill.
He's not that good.
You want to own it?
Yeah, he's not that good.
Wow.
He had a great rookie year, and
Neil, I'm sorry, you got supplanted.
Yeah, I just don't think he's that good. He just doesn't have a really good handle on the offense from when I watch games. The Chiefs are playing so bad though, even at home. But they've only lost only one of their losses is at home, if I remember right.
They play really good at home.
Right. So because of that, I'm going to take the Chiefs at home to barely squeak this out against the Texans. I'm taking the Chiefs in a squeaker.
Neil Lynch says, and I quote, chefs. So I believe that.
Can I change my pick?
Yeah, I know. No kidding. So the Chiefs are in a bit of offensive line turmoil after having lost, I believe, 2 offensive linemen last week. So they're doing a little bit of a shuffle. And what a better team to go against when you're having offensive line woes than the Texans, who not only boast a great defense, but just a tremendous defensive line. I have to go with the Texans, all but snuffing out the life of playoff hope.
It would be over, right?
Yeah, that the Chiefs have. I'm going to go with the Texans and just bid thee adieu.
Do you feel good about it?
Not really. I kind of respect the Chiefs. Yeah, I want them to be good so that way we can be the ones to snuff them out. But that's right.
I tried to give CJ Stroud every excuse in the book. I tried. It was Nico Collins is hurt. The offensive line is bad. The offensive coordinator last year wasn't very good. Like I've tried to give him every excuse possible. And then Davis Mills comes in and outperforms them for multiple weeks in a row.
Really good point.
And that for me was the nail in the coffin. Like you can't be doing this. I can't keep defending you.
Especially with a name like CJ. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, Beathard over there was probably your best CJ in the league before him.
Having said all of that, Texans. I think that defense is just too unreal, and the Chiefs are going to be missing 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen, I believe. So I just don't see a world in which they are able. I mean, it's Mahomes, so he does all sorts of out of pocket shenanigans, and it is a must win. But they haven't won a lot of their other must wins this year either.
They've had at least like 3 other must wins with the Broncos, with they did win the one with the Colts, I should say, and then even last week.
And even the Colts one, I wasn't particularly convinced about.
I'm surprised by this line, 3.5 to the Chiefs.
I think it's purely just
home
because they're at home. Yeah. That's all. That's it. But yeah, I'll go Texans.
All right, I can understand why. Okay, let's now go to the underperforming Philadelphia Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite in San Diego, in LA against the Chargers. Phil.
Neil Lynch says the Charge squad over there. Yeah. I don't know what to do, man.
Same.
I honestly don't know what to do. Justin Herbert has a broken hand. It's a throwing hand. If he was healthy, I actually would, without question, pick
Is
the
it
Chargers.
his throwing hand?
I'm pretty sure it was. I thought it was. I very well could be wrong. because I'm pretty sure I thought it was Aaron Rodgers hurt his non-throwing hand and it's hurting him, and then Justin Herbert hurts his actual throwing hand. I can't imagine that feels good. I'll fall for the banana in the tailpipe one more time. Philadelphia Eagles, somehow, some way, they'll win throwing one safety. Like, I don't even know how it accomplishes, how it computes, how it makes sense. I'll go with the Eagles just on talent, but not feel good about it.
Would it change if I told you that he is right-handed? Does that change anything at all for you?
It does matter. No, I'll stick with the Eagles.
Okay. I've changed my pick on this 5 times since this morning.
Wow.
I don't trust either of these teams. I don't trust anybody doing anything. So
trust issues.
Yes, basically. Me and Philip had a lengthy debate on Saquon Barkley earlier this week. Having said all of that, I'm going to go Chargers just because it's in LA, and that's what I'm going to use as my deciding factor, even though I don't feel good about it. I just don't have a strong enough reason to not go with that. So, especially since Herbert is going to try and play. So that's what I'm going with.
I'm with you. I've changed my pick 37 times in the last 5 minutes. This is a tough game. Now, the Eagles are given a reprieve by the fact that the Cowboys actually lost this week. I think that was a big deal, honestly. So the Eagles can be a little bit more comfortable about where they're at.
Cowboys were robbed even, some might say.
And I don't think the Eagles will be the number 1 seed. I just don't see that happening. So it becomes now a period of limbo where they just need to get through the rest of the season to start the playoffs. I'm without all that said, I'm just going to take the Chargers because it's in LA, and I just think the Eagles are not playing very good ball right now. There's a lot going on there that I think extends into the locker room and probably into the head coaching office. There's issues there. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Chargers, and we'll see what happens.
I can't puff my chest and be outwardly saying, like, I told you guys so. When the Eagles win and I win this little tumultuous discussion we're having, I don't feel great about it.
Let's go to what I think is one of the better games of the week. We have the Chicago Bears, the number 1 seeded Chicago Bears. Think about that, in Green Bay. And the number 1 seed is a 6.5-point underdog in Green Bay. When have you ever seen that in your memory? I can't ever remember a number 1 seed going somewhere and being an underdog, especially by this many points. So, Luke, Bears, Packers, what you got?
This is another one I flip-flopped on. I honestly don't trust either team, especially Rome Odunze out. Like, it's not like a huge loss, but it is a noticeable loss. I don't trust Jordan Love, but it is Toyota-thon. So
does equate.
I'm going to go with the same logic that I went with earlier, and I'm going to say Packers because they're at home.
I'm going to go with Neil's pick, which are one of the same of the Packers. I didn't have as much consternation on this one. I find that the Chicago Bears are winning in spite of their offense, weirdly enough, even though Caleb, he's not making mistakes. He's doing the opposite of Sam Darnold. They're being able to work around him. If Seattle Seahawks had Caleb Williams, I love it.
Elite.
Don't need him. I like Sam.
That being said, Bears, fantastic story. You have managed to hit a couple of opponents right at the right time. Good for you. Good on you. I'm not even taking anything away from what you've done. What you will do, though, is lose to the Packers, who are just a team without weakness. They are a team that has finally looked like a Super Bowl contender, albeit against the Lions in back-to-back fashion. Like, that's the only time I've seen it, but I still believe I'll fall for it after week 1, and I'll fall for it now again after Thanksgiving. Give me the Packers to beat the Chicago Bears.
Rawr. So I don't feel we have Bears believers in here.
No.
You know what? I'm going to change my pick. I'm going Bears.
Wow.
I'm going Bears.
I convinced you to go the opposite way.
Yes. I'm going Bears.
Why the change?
I don't believe in the Packers at all. I just don't. I think that offense is very dependent on certain factors. And if they don't, I think they're honestly like the Bears, but with more name power. I think they have more name power than the Bears, and they're basically the same team.
Okay. Let me change your pick here real quick.
Give them about 13 minutes.
I just don't know what Packer team we're going to get, right? That's the problem. They're so inconsistent. And here's the thing. These guys are playing 2 of the next 3 weeks. I think they're going to split. And I think the road team's going to win both games.
Wow.
So I'm going Bears. I do believe in what the Bears are doing. I do believe in Caleb Williams. I believe in Ben Johnson. I love Ben Johnson and what he's done with that team. I love when he rips his shirt off and he gets fired up in that locker room and everybody goes crazy. He's got a team. And this again, hey, Jonathan Gannon, maybe take a look at what he's doing over there. That's a good coach. I really do. I like what he's been doing. I think he'll have a good game plan. I'm going to take the Bears. I think the Bears win this game. I think the Bears are going to keep rolling, but I do think they're going to lose the Packers in 2 weeks. But I got Bears.
Yeah, Kalen DeBoer. Or sorry, Kalen. I'm looking over there. No, Ben Johnson. Excuse me. Doing it for the Glizzies for the city. You got to love Ben Johnson.
You do got to love Ben Johnson. He's been great. He's been awesome. So there's our picks. I mean, right now you have a 2-game lead on me, and Neil is. I don't want to talk about his record. He's
every time we look at the season-long record, I keep thinking that I have a better lead to you than I do, but you're just annoying. I know. Well, yeah. Well, you're like my Drake May to my booty.
Okay. What?
Careful, I'm a deep threat.
So we have a few minutes, you guys. Any topic you guys want to hit on hard real quick in the last 4 or 5 minutes?
So we've had a bit of a turmoil amongst ourselves here.
We have. We always do, though.
We always do. Pete Carroll, I contend, is going to be a one-and-done coach.
Fired year 1.
Do you think he's fired, or do you think he's like,
steps down?
I don't want to do this, and just retires?
Yeah, fired, and just however he wants to do it is, I think, going to be up to him. Because at his age, he signed up for this in a bunch of different ways. I think that they'll say, we respect you. Neither of us got what we wanted. Yes. Did we think that we were winning the Super Bowl this year? No. But we did think that we would see forward progress. And from everything that we've seen, and for us all but buying in to the way that you thought, by whether that is bringing Geno Smith, whether that is bringing Tyler Lockett, whether that is bringing your son to be the running backs coach and then changing Ashton Gentry's stance, whether that be making Chip Kelly the number 1 coordinator across the NFL. Big mistake. We tried. We tried it your way. We fully bought in, and it didn't work. So, Pete, we respect the hell out of you. Enjoy a Hall of Fame worthy career and Hall of Fame retirement. But we're growing in separate ways here.
Will this be the year that Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick get away from football finally?
No,
Bill just walk away.
Apparently, North Carolina's
Bill should walk away.
Said that they're sticking with him for another
but
year.
He shouldn't stick with them. He should just walk away. He's done.
I think Bill will stay. I think he's too stubborn
because of this.
I honestly don't think it's money. I think he's just too stubborn. Like I think he screams of the dude who just physically can't not work. And so I think that's what this is. I think it's like he mentally cannot imagine going a full year without doing football. And I think honestly that's the only reason why Pete Carroll was willing to take this job, was I think both of them scream of like, I can't be retired. I'm too bad at it. And I want to keep doing something else. And they found 2 suckers who were willing to give them what they wanted.
I'm shocked that the Raiders are as bad as they are. Absolutely shocked.
I would agree with that.
Pete Carroll's better than that. And his two biggest issues are he tried to reheat the fries. He went ahead, and Chip Kelly was a huge mistake. Yeah. Huge mistake. And then Geno Smith was a huge mistake.
That's probably the biggest mistake, because you make a mistake with a coordinator. Okay, you know what? That's an uncapped avenue for you. So that doesn't cost you anything. The Geno Smith is a mistake that's going to cost you this regime and possibly the next, depending on when they end the Pete Carroll.
It probably cost him his job.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
I'm going to throw up a text here from a bitter Dolphin fan. It's on our line here. It says, no World Cup draw talk. Then again, the show sucked. I hope you mean the World Cup draw show, because I know our show didn't suck. So, did you guys watch the World Cup show?
No,
not
what?
Not one.
Why not?
Cares?
I do. You don't care about World Cup?
No.
Here's the thing.
You guys are not patriotic.
Whether I care about the World Cup or not is irrelevant. I don't care about the draw. I'll wait.
It's important though.
Is it?
The U.S. got a great draw.
I did hear that because again, why would I watch the show when I can just see the snippet on X in a minute after it happens? But I don't follow it enough. Either they make it and they do well and I'll watch, or they'll lose and it doesn't matter, which they'll probably just lose.
Rich, I know you're a German supporter, and God love you. Forza Italia, you know me. I'm all about Italia. Of course, I'll pull for the U.S. too, but Phil has no response or reaction to World Cup. He's just not a soccer guy. So,
I'm all for American football. That's how I go.
President Trump did say that we need to change the name of the NFL to something else because true football is world football.
Yeah.
That'll never happen.
You gotta love it.
Anyway, hey, thanks for giving us a little bit part of your weekend. We appreciate you spending these last 2 hours with us. Go have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. It's Weekend Warriors. See ya.